Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, everyone. Chrissy, I'm so glad to hear that you are okay and that our guest is okay.
I know. Being from the Midwest, it gets crazy being from the Midwest. That's for sure. And it's beautiful, nice forest, but yeah, I'm ready to move, I think.
That 115 degrees in the summertime is actually palatable, considering.
It probably sounds better and everything.
I was going to say, you just don't go out during the day.
I know. But we want to welcome everybody to Within the Cauldron and Behind the Witch's Veil. And tonight's guest is from my neck of the woods in Iowa. And I'm happy he didn't blow away.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's one thing I did was message him like, "Are you okay?" Just to make sure. So, but tonight's guest, his name is Stephen Tracy. He is a founder and lead investigator of Iowa Paranormal, a research team he established in 2008 for nearly 2 decades. Stephen and his team have traveled throughout Iowa and the Midwest, investigating reports of unexplained activity, strange encounters, and local legends. While many people associate paranormal investigations strictly with ghosts and haunted locations, Iowa Paranormal explores a wide range of claims, from spending nights in reportedly haunted prisons, schools, and historical buildings, to hiking through dense woods in the middle of summer, searching for evidence of Bigfoot, or investigating reports of unexplained lights in the sky. The team's goal is to examine all types of paranormal activity with an open mind. Stephen is quick to point out that Iowa Paranormal is not a group of ghost hunters looking to prove every claim. Their mission is to help validate experience, separate fact from fiction, document evidence, and provide answers whenever possible. Sometimes those answers support the claim, and sometimes they point to more natural explanation.
Over the years, Stephen has investigated hundreds of cases ranging from private homes to businesses to some of the Midwest's most well-known historic locations. I'm interested in learning about that. Like many investigators, he admits there have been times when he pushed a little harder than he should have in an effort to get a reaction, but experience has taught him that respect, patience, and careful observation often produce the best results. Beyond investigations, Stephen manages Iowa Paranormal's online presence, creating videos, sharing case updates, documenting historic locations, and engaging with a growing audience across social media platforms. He also participates in public speaking engagements, podcasts, community events, and educational presentations, where he shares stories from the field, discusses investigation techniques, and explores the mysteries that continue to fascinate people from all walks of life. Whether sitting in a dark hallway attempting to communicate with something unseen, exploring abandoned buildings steeped in history, or trekking through poison ivy covered river bottoms, that poison ivy just caught me right there. I'm like, oh, in search of the elusive unknown, Stephen remains driven by one simple question: what is really happening, and can it be documented?
Wow.
That's a lot. I love it. That's great.
Stephen, hello. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Hey, thank you so much both for having me. Is the podcast over now? That was a long bio. I didn't know if that took up the whole time or what. So no, I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Well, we could, cut some of it out, but you know what? It was a very great description of everything you do. And I want to have everybody in the audience to know what you do and everything. So I think we did
perfect. Yes.
Wow. So Stephen, after that, bio, you did so well, I should say you have done so much,
Right.
Yes.
and you're probably still doing a lot too as well. How did you get into the paranormal and Bigfoot and everything?
Okay. Let me try to be as short as I can on this, but I won't. That's how I am. So I never had any kind of experience as a child or anything, with the paranormal that got me into this. I think it all stemmed from being just a big horror movie fan as a kid. I think that's how it honestly came about. And I remember going to my local library and just, renting out books on Bigfoot and ghosts and such like that growing up. It was not until probably about 99, 2000, right around there, on the internet, I was just searching around ghost one day, and I came across this guy by the name of Troy Taylor, who operated the American Ghost Society. And he made a book called The Ghost Hunter's Guidebook, and he was selling this book online. And I was like, you know what? I want to get my feet wet in this. And so I bought this book, The Ghost Hunter's Guidebook. And it was basically how I wanted to establish my investigations, just a very research-based fact investigation, no running around screaming, hooting, hollering, that type of thing. And it just really, everything that he said in it, I took to heart, and I was like, this is the guy I want to follow. Right. And so actually still to this day, I don't know if you can see it.
I love that.
Yeah. From 2001 was when I got this book, The Ghost Hunter's Guidebook. Okay. It's a great book. And so I got that book, and of course, I'm in my early 20s then. And so I started going to local cemeteries, right? That's how a lot of us, get started. I did anyway. And so I was going to local cemeteries. There's this one not far from me called Mars Hill Cemetery. Okay. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's up by Atumwa, Iowa. It's out in the middle of nowhere. And there was always reports of this cemetery, and it had a little church there that was haunted. And so me and buddies would go there in the middle of the night, and every single time that we would pull up there, there would always be a group of kids there, just, trying to conjure up something at that time, right? And I would talk to people who said, like, they'd drive by there and literally see these gargoyle creatures standing outside, roaming the cemetery, just anything you can imagine, it was from there, right? And so that was kind of the cemetery I got started, of just going around taking pictures, inside out. And in the church, you move the podium out of the way. People were in there doing, there was pentagrams, different candle wax and stuff, whatever they were doing in there and stuff. But I would just go out there, take pictures. And I remember, like, one time, I probably still have the picture somewhere. I just took picture out the tombstones there. And there was a damn stupid little white speckle on the picture. And so I'm thinking, that's an orb. That, that's, we've heard all about these damn things. It was an orb. And so at 20 years old, I'm thinking, man, I captured something amazing, right? Obviously now my feelings have changed over the years on something like that. And I can't take this picture out to the world and say, look, I captured a ghost. That's my opinion. Okay. So, but that's how I got started, going to cemeteries and such. And it went like that for several years until 2004. The show Ghost Hunters came on, right? Mm-hmm. And I want to make a note, and I was looking for them today, but I wanted to show. So I actually joined Troy's membership of the American Ghost Society in the early 2000s. So before Ghost Hunters became popular and anyone even knew, I had a little membership card from like 2001 and 2003 of the American Ghost Society, just to show people, like, it wasn't Ghost Hunters that got me into this. I was someone who beforehand was into this, right? And so obviously Ghost Hunters, it blew up. Everybody wanted to get in the field, and that's perfectly fine, right? Like it opened a lot of opportunities for locations to be more open to allowing people to come in. That from my experience of what I encountered.
Right.
And so it actually wasn't until 2000, 2006 that I went on my first like big investigation to the Villisca Axe Murder House.
Oh,
And I went there with Troy, actually. He did an event. He did like a public event there, and I bought a ticket and I went there and met Troy. And it was a great time. Didn't really have much happen that night. Just the atmosphere was more like, oh my gosh, this is my first really big investigation. This is amazing. Had a great time. After that, I became the area representative for the American Ghost Society at that time for Troy. So Troy and I became good friends. It was crazy. It's like this guy that I kind of grew up. What's the word? That's the guy who looking up to, right? Yeah. And now I'm part of it, where now I host the events that he put, on his website. I'm the guide there here in Iowa when people buy tickets to, I'm the person there. So it was really cool. Did that for many, many years. Right. Absolutely. And so in 2008, I don't know, it was just, things just came together at the time. My wife and I were like, you know what, let's start a group. Let's just get our feet wet. Let's just start slow. And the place I was working at the time, there's a few guys that I kind of mentioned about the paranormal, and they were into it as well. And so October of 2008, Iowa Paranormal was officially formed.
Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah. And so I will basically stop there about how we got started. We can get in more details, investigation and such, but 18 years later, we are still doing this.
Excellent. Yes.
Well, and I have to agree with you too, because, most people go, oh yeah, you're a medium. And what was your, I always say I had my little pinky toe in the paranormal world, even though I wasn't really practicing back then. But the TV show that I gravitated to was well before Ghost Hunters. And it was actually a British show called Most Haunted. So
I remember that. Yes. Yep.
And it was
absolutely.
in the 80s and 90s. And so it was, well before, Jason Hawes was out there.
Was that the guy who was like, "Thank you, Sam"? Would always say that to the spirit he would be talking to, and I remember that.
Yeah, very
rest in peace. He's gone. Yeah,
he was very, very respectful. I remember seeing that show. That was probably one of the first shows I've seen too. Back in the day, as well. Stephen, so your team. Now, you have 3 members of your team, or do you have more?
So over 18 years, right? We have, what's the analogy I'll use? We've gone through members like we go through toilet paper. That's how it feels.
No,
okay, that's just right. I mean, that's it. My wife, I, and one of our investigators, Patrick, we were 3 out of the original 4, and we are 3 out of the 4 of us are still, 18 years later. We, members have come and gone. Just life, right? Life gets in the way. Kids get, I'm not going to say kids get in the way. I about slipped up there. That sound bad, right? But no, people have kids, everything gets busy, and people come and go, and, that things just happen. So.
Yeah, I've been there. I got 4 kids and 11 grandkids. Yep. So I know
how
busy life can get. So I know I was reading from your site. Let me see. Or was it Yellow Park? Was it Yellow State Park? You saw Bigfoot? Or
no, Yellow State. So Yellow State Park is up by Dubuque, and there's just been a lot of Bigfoot reports. That is one place that we are going to later this year. We have not been there yet. That is one of our anticipated investigations. So another thing you have to remember, 2008, right? When I started a website, it was on what was it, like Yahoo GeoCities or something like that, some old program. I used that damn thing up until like 2020 when they finally shut it off. They're like, this damn thing's so out of date. And so when they just shut it off, I was like, there's no way I can restart a website again. I had so much information, so many files that are now long gone, lost.
No.
And it was depressing. It was like, what do I do now? And so the new website that you see, if you go to iaparanormal.com, it is in the works. It is currently being revamped. I am working on trying to recover old files as much as I can to get some of those old investigations back. When we started some of our early investigations, we were lucky in the sense of we got really great activity starting off. And I hate saying that because a lot of you're a new group and you want to be excited and you want to think this and that, and every noise that you hear is something paranormal, right? But there were some things that we were able just to collaborate and see with our own eyes, and just so many multiple witnesses that we got spoiled early on. We really did.
Well, when you do go, I have to tell you, I have a friend that she lives in New Mexico now. She did a book on inviting ET, and we had her on probably last year to talk about UFOs and Bigfoot. And she said that that's where she first saw her Bigfoot. So just beware. You might see him. So.
Well, I will say this, that whenever you all want to have that conversation, if we do it on another podcast or such about Bigfoot specifically, I have a location that we went there looking for Bigfoot 17 years ago, and we still go back to that same location to this day because of every kind of activity we have witnessed out there. So.
Oh, wow. That would be interesting. And yes, of course, we will have you back because, like I said, we love our Bigfoot too.
Right. Yep.
So, Medium Red's only like 5 foot. So to her, Bigfoot,
everybody's Bigfoot compared to me.
Right.
What is one location that you and your team went to, or even yourself, that you just felt like, oh my gosh, why in the hell am I doing this? This is not where I should be at.
Oh, interesting. That's I don't know if I've ever asked myself that, in the sense of like almost a regretful way. Are you maybe implying that, like a regretful way, like this is too much to handle?
Yeah, just some places like this is too much. This is like really creeping me out. Heebie-jeebies. That's, I want to get the hell out.
No, there's been places that we have been. I don't want to say scared, but I look at it like the element of surprise, right? So if we're in a location and I see a full body apparition from 40 feet away, I'm going to initially, oh shit, what's that? And I'm going to, maybe be in shock for a moment, but try to go that way. Where if I walk around the damn corner of that place and there's something right there, I am going to the restroom to change my underwear. Right? That's just that's facts. Like, so there's a element of like, when you say like worried or scared or just kind of like what's going on. For me, I don't think I've really had that feeling of a place, but just the element of surprise of one of them places be like, yeah, that place scared the shit out of me one time. Just, I went around the corner and there's something right there. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So I just have to ask, sis, have you ever been to a place where you had to change your underwear?
No. I have to say, to his point, where one place that I went to do an investigation, I had been there a couple of times. I think this was the second time I went. I was doing an Estes session, and I was sitting in an old chair, and everybody was in like command central, like they had set up this room in the back, and so I had no contact with them, and they were asking questions actually over a walkie-talkie. And again, the Estes session method, you're blindfolded in your noise canceling earphones. I literally, and I guess I can't remember. I think I had my hair kind of like this. And what it was more shock than having to change my pants was I felt like a breeze pushed my hair and then a kiss on my neck. I think my lead investigator had videoed it and she put it on TikTok because it was like I jumped out of the chair because here I am just, in a total trance, basically in a nutshell, and I'm getting kissed on the neck by one of the spirits. And I was like, okay, that was surprising.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, wow. 4 Minutes in Prison.
Mhm.
I followed you on Facebook, have you? And I saw some of your videos that you was doing about 4 Minutes in Prison. My brother-in-law used to work there a long time ago, and I heard stories that he has told. So what is your take on 4 Minutes in Prison?
Okay, so with the name is the Iowa State Penitentiary, the historic Iowa State Penitentiary, because they built the new one now up north of there, right? So this place, when I went, it was just, I think maybe a year or two after it officially shut down, right? And they did tours for anyone that could go there. And so I went there twice. I think it was 2000. Man, it's crazy to think how long ago 2017 was now. But it's 2017 and 2018. I went there 2 different times. And so it wasn't so much a paranormal investigation or such. It was just like a daytime tour to check out the whole place, right? And so for me, I tried to capture as much video, pictures, everything I could just in the short amount of time that you were allowed there and try to go to as many places. And what I found out was when, a few months ago when I made all them posts about the penitentiary and had all them pictures and stuff, so many people opened up about that place. People used to work there, right? People who were in prison there. And I've had a flood of messages from everyone that has had activity there, experienced things, has different prisoners at the time said, hey, this cell block, there was always this happening, that happening. So I have this huge database right now. It is amazing with timestamps. When I talk to them, I try to get as much information with the, roughly when the date was that they can remember that happening, all that. And I am making a big database right now. And I want to put that on the website just as a historical thing, for the future of anyone that may want to look at it and say, even if it's non-paranormal, right? Like, hey, I know my great uncle worked there, but I can't remember what year. And maybe they'll find a name or something from someone else that mentioned, so that's something in the process right now that I'm working on that I think will be really exciting.
Yeah, I know my brother-in-law. Well, I think my sister-in-law also worked there as a X-ray technician. She used to do X-rays in prison, and there was stories. For the life of me, I can't remember. Getting old, don't tell nobody. But yeah, it's interesting. Now, I saw that you are looking for some more cases as well. What is one of your locations that you would love to go to that you have not been yet?
That I have not been to yet. Is that more like a bucket list thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you know what? All the places that both of you have in your heads, I guarantee I'm going to say the same damn thing, right? Like we can say Trans-Allegheny, Eastern State, Alcatraz, all them places, right?
Waverly Hills.
Also, so I've been to Waverly Hills. Been to Waverly Hills and been to Bobby Mackey's. Yeah, absolutely. Did our own private hunts there years ago. It was just crazy, insane. I mean, it was just the place being massive. But I look at it this way at times too, as like a bucket list place, right? Would be, we could talk about these massive locations, these huge prisons and stuff. But man, for me, how amazing would it be a bucket list of just a small little farmhouse that when I walk in that place, a damn couch is being thrown at me, right?
Right.
Just anything like that.
sir.
Just right. That's what I want, and what I find when and I've been to like Missouri State Penitentiary and such, is the places are so massive, and realistically, and maybe I'm just speaking for myself and our group, is like, we can't spend 3-4 nights, consecutively at these places. Right. And so when you go to something this massive, you can hear the stories about a certain cell here and there, but you also want to explore as much of that place as possible on that night. And so honestly, I feel like it's hard to pinpoint. Yeah, you get lucky on some possible activity, right? But realistically, it's like you're just maybe I would be overwhelmed. Like, which way do I go? That type of thing, right? Yeah. And so, like for me, put me in some old farmhouse where stuff's being thrown at me, knives are being thrown. I don't care. I will take it. Just that for me would be like a bucket list thing right there.
I like the locations that are, basic. I belong to another team that does, buildings that have never been investigated before. Mm-hmm. And those are, to me, they're like priceless gems. I mean,
absolutely.
Where you have the entities where they have not, again, knock 3 times,
Yeah. Yep.
They're like, oh God, not another one of these too, but I love the buildings that are not, that are basically not visited, and you get so much pure energy and pure evidence. It's just incredible. So
for sure.
Just like the farmhouse idea, essentially.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You really do. Even in some of the old cemeteries, that's like you were saying, that's how you start out. And my daughters and I, we love just going to the cemeteries. We just went to the Black Angel up in Iowa City.
Oh yeah.
And she's beautiful. She's very emotional, but we went there. I can tell you a whole bunch, but it's not about me. So when you go on these investigations, okay, do you have anybody in the public to join you who would like to go on? Do you take on new blood or anything?
Okay, so let me see. How will I answer this? Okay. Yes and no. So we've done over the years a lot of public events, okay, where obviously people can buy tickets and come along. Mm-hmm. And that's more for someone who maybe they don't want to join a group. They just want to check it out for a night, see how they like it, right? And so we've done a lot of them over the years. As far as someone coming and joining us for a night, I shoot that down, okay? And I have my reasonings for it. Obviously, confidentiality. Like maybe it depends on the location. If it's a homeowner that's contacted me that has some personal shit, right? Like I'm not bringing this person, along on something like this. It's okay. I'm probably going to get a little controversial here. Okay, so I apologize, but this is how I am, right? So, and I want feedback from both of you on this. Now, with what about another team joining along, right? Mm-hmm. We do that with one team. And it's people that actually came to one of the public events that I ran many years ago, some ladies, and became amazing friends with them. And they came to all the events over the years, and they started their own group. And so when we can, we'll get together, go on investigation, right? Outside of that, hot take here, but I probably won't do it with any other groups. Okay. And my reasoning is, and some people say, and maybe this is your take, is, well, let's share ideas. Let's share different ways of investigating, and let's see if we can collaborate them, see if something makes sense like that. And tell me if you've had experience with this, is it easier said than done, right? Because in my mind, I'm looking at it. So we are very evidence-based. Mm-hmm. We operate with cameras, video recorders, audio recorders, things like that. We let the evidence do the talking. Red, I take by your name, medium, right? Mm-hmm. We don't operate in that field. And me personally, I could walk into someone's home and say, I feel the presence of Harry the Lightkeeper, and be feeding them a bunch of garbage, right? That's just me. One of the reasons why too is back in 2009, this lady called us and had an investigation. She had some stuff going on in her home, and these were in our early years. And she goes, "Hey, I have a lady friend who is a medium. Do you mind if she comes along that night with me there?" Right. And so we weren't big fans of that. But we said, you know what, we're going to test her that night. Okay. And so obviously that night we're all sitting around the living room and we just kind of nodded. We knew this was the time. And I said, man, there's something like grabbing my leg. I feel something tugging on my leg or such. And I'm full of shit at this time. And that lady goes, oh yeah, there's this little child right now that is pulling on your pant leg. And so, and maybe that is part of the reasoning why these days, right? That absolutely threw us for, like in our minds, that justified how we felt about mediums in a sense, right? And believe me, I know there are mediums out there that are 1000% legit. I have no doubt about that, right? But I'm very, I look at it this way. What if we join up, with a group that has a medium in it, and our thing is maybe we want to sit here and for 5 straight hours and just let the evidence just run, and we're just sitting back, or maybe having a casual conversation. And what if this medium every 3 minutes is saying, hey, I feel the presence of this person or that person, right? We can't conduct the investigation we want to. And maybe it's just a conversation teams have to have beforehand, like establishing, hey, this is how we operate and stuff. But in my mind, truthfully, I already have this preconceived notion of how the investigation will go. And that's just me. That's one of my faults. And that's going to be me till the day I die. Right. So it's a trust thing as well, because this team, I don't know these people. They don't know me. There's so many variables that I could get into, but it's just, it is, I'm getting at that point where it's just like, I'm just a grumpy old man now. How about that? Right. And
very valid reasons though.
Well,
and
it's not, it's not to be an asshole. Truthfully, it's not to be an asshole. Right. It's just we've been stuck in our ways for so damn long. How about that? And it is hard. I am not a big fan of change. I'll be the first person to admit it. So,
well, and to the point, Stephen, I have to say, there are. Look, I say this gift is a curse and a blessing at the same time. And I do consult with 2 other teams, and a medium should know what their place is. And if you're conducting 5 hours of EVP sessions, the medium shuts their mouth. I mean, I totally agree with you. So there are some realistic ones and there are some fake ones. I can't tell you how many fake mediums I have run into in this industry. And I literally had a case where it was a grumpy old man that was pissed because his ashes were not spread in 2 very specific locations. They accomplished half of it, but not the other half. And immediately, the woman heard growling and called in a medium, and the medium charged $900 to tell her that she had a portal under her bed with a brown stain, and that it was demons. And that was in Tucson, 2 hours from me. A girlfriend of mine was going down there to do a blessing and a cleansing. And I said, you don't need to cleanse the house. You just need to listen to the man. And she's like, well, okay, I'll call you or I'll text you. So she texted me. And I mean, the information I was giving her was spot on. And she's like, the woman's wanting to know, where's the portal to hell and where the demons are? I go, lift the bed up and look under the bed. Prove me wrong. Because if there's a brown stain under that bed, I'll eat crow. That's how assured I was that I knew. So there are fake mediums out there. And that's the one bad apple tries to poison the rest of us, And I deal with it on a daily basis too. And I also deal with it on a daily basis where I vet teams that I belong to. Are they ghost hunters? Or like you basically in your bio, you said, you're not a ghost hunter. I like to work with paranormal investigations and paranormal investigators. There's a difference between the two. This isn't a weekend hobby. I'm not a weekend warrior on this. I want to do the same thing you do. I want in my case, I like to go on investigations and get what I get and then give that to the lead investigator and go, take it and validate me now.
Absolutely. For sure.
And then I get the validation because they find the evidence in either documentation or whatever. And so I'm with you. I mean, I would be picky and choosy as well in this particular field with so many ghost hunters out there that are just doing it for fun and screaming out the door, you know?
Right. And you made a really important point a second ago is now I'm questioning everything I ever done because for all these emails and phone calls I've gotten over the years, I've never charged a dime to these people, but now I can make $900 by telling them some BS.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? I know. I'm like, and I did that for free and I was sitting in my night clothes, you know?
Right.
You know? We're texting, you know? So, I mean, yeah, I mean, it has become such a money. Well, I mean, we bring this up all the time. It has become such a money grabbing industry, which is ridiculous. And corporate run buildings, you know, obviously, is it the Villa Ask building that's now corporate owned? I can't remember. We were talking about the other night, or was that the Lizzie Borden house that's corporate owned?
The Lizzie Borden house is
right.
Because I think when I was out there, I think the caretaker said that the same person owned the Axe murder house here in Iowa.
So it's owned by the same corporation then. Yeah. So they both are owned. So it's a money grabbing thing, you know, and everybody looks at this now as like, oh, this is where I'm going to get millions of dollars and I'm going to get a TV show. And, you know, they just don't understand, you know, they're just glorified ghost hunters. They're not there to look for the evidence. They're not there to help people or even help the spirits themselves, you know? Yep. So, I mean, once I told the woman, you know, when I asked her about the ashes, you know, she's like, well, yeah, part of them were because the husband told me, I gave you one task and you effed it up. That's what he told me to tell her. And I said, it's not me. I'm not saying this myself. It's him.
Right.
And I said, so what's with Cleveland, Ohio and Tucson Tucson had gateway pass or something like that. And she's like, well, I spread them there, but I didn't send them to Cleveland because I was worried about how to do that, you know, to send them to the sister. And there was a playground that he wanted them spread at because that was a very joyful memory for him. And I said, well, where did you put them? And they said the vegetable garden in the backyard. I'd growl too. I'd be pissed. I said, well, you better get some dirt and send it to Cleveland. Otherwise, he's going to be continually growling at you.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's what I said, Stephen. You had some very valid reasons. I mean,
yeah, right.
Minretta said, I have been to the Lizzie Borden house in 2024, where my son was like, Mom, go do your thing. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do anything. I just want to relax, you know. And we had this young lady in probably early 20s. And she goes, I'm a medium. I'm going to contact these spirits. She sat down. She goes, 1, 2, 3, snaps her fingers, closes her eyes, and just starts talking to this ghost box. And then she came out of it. She goes, 3, 2, 1. She snapped her fingers. She was out of it. And she goes, oh my gosh, that spirit just played with my leg and everything. And the spirit on the ghost box, no shit, said, no, I didn't. Everybody
called out by a ghost.
Yes. Everybody,
wow.
Like she argued with a ghost box. Yes, you did. I'm sitting there just trying to keep a straight face, you know. I'm just like, okay, I have to just walk away. I walk away. My son is like, Mom. I'll go, no, I'm not doing it because no, I'm not. And you know, the spirits doesn't want to be there anyway. I mean, you have Andrew, who head is all cut up. They have pictures on this dining room table of him being all cut up. And, you know, how horrifying is that for a spirit to see death
on a daily basis?
Over. So that's all I have to say for that. But yes, Stephen, I agree. So you're fine.
Okay, and I get it. What's the terminology? The para-unity, right? I get that. Like we're all ultimately after the same goal, right? I guess I'm just speaking for myself. I want to know what's after this, right? There's all these questions, and I guess who's to say even what method is the most appropriate, right? There's part of me that's like, I don't want this team coming in because maybe they're doing all these different techniques that we don't do.
Right.
But maybe their way is the best way, than ours. Right. And I'm just set in my ways. That's all it basically boils down to. So
you're just a grumpy old man.
I'm a damn grumpy old man. Damn right.
Yes, I know you have questions.
Well, I was curious. How do you maintain your skepticism and objectivity? Man, say that 10 times fast while you're investigating.
That would be a great question for the other investigators, because over the years, how many times they've gotten pissed off at me because they bring me some evidence after investigation and I say, sorry, guys, that's not, in my opinion, that's a pipe, banging or this or that, and I can tell in their eyes, they're just like, again, really? Come on, give us something. I have witnessed a lot of pretty wild things on investigations, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm still a skeptic in a way, if that even makes sense. And I always say that until my Opa, my grandfather, comes up to me and I see him right in front of me and talks to me, I'm probably going to be, have this major skeptical side for the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. I have to have a deceased loved one of mine come up. I have to be able to see them, I think, is the only 100%. I've seen the figures walk through walls. I've seen manifestations of different things, all sorts of stuff. I've heard voices, everything. But there's still some skeptical side of me that it's weird maybe I'm sounding hypocritical. I don't know, but maybe it's more just what really is there after life type of thing, and so I really feel that I'm going to always have a skeptical side until that moment happens with me.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think you have to. You really do. Yeah. Because again, there's the paranormal entertainment out there that people watch, and unfortunately, that's what they think. That's what goes on in normal investigations, and that's the farthest thing from the truth. We all know. I mean, like you said, most of these buildings are taken over for a week or 2 weeks at a time, and they're there every night to get the evidence that they need for a 30 to 45-minute show. Yeah. And, ghost hunting and paranormal investigations, etc., is boring to a certain extent. It doesn't just you don't walk in the door and they go, oh, they're here, put on a show,
Right. Absolutely. And, I wish people that aren't investigators, that don't do this a lot, realizes like the sacrifices we make to do this, right? I have a lot of regret from the early years. So when we first started, if a person called me, if a lady called me and said, hey, my cat is staring in the corner, you know what? I took on that damn case. My ego, I wanted every damn case there was. I wanted to be booked every weekend, going here, going there, all that. Like I took on any case. And by doing that, I feel now like I lost a lot of family time with my kids when they were younger. Right. And it's something people don't, I drive to a case 5 hours away from here. Mm-hmm. And and I'm sure both of you possibly had this, is when it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you're in a room dark, right? Mm-hmm. And nothing's happened. For me, I start questioning myself at times. I'm like, what am I doing right now?
Right.
Like what, and then I have to rein myself in. Like, what is it? This family needs help. this family needs help or this person needs answers, right? I have to rein myself back in and realize that. But there are times where you're just exhausted and beat from this. And, when you're somewhat, outside of our public events that we've done, we don't charge nothing for investigations, at all. We go wherever it is, help whoever we can. And, it does take its toll on you, especially as you get older. I mean, when we first started, I'm in my late 20s, early 30s, and we're just hitting it hard. We could all night long be up, go home, no problem, right? These days, it's like, shoot. And with that being said, it's like, our jobs are early morning hours to afternoon, right? And that was another thing through the years is on investigations, our hours get reversed from what our regular life is.
Right.
Right. And so it messes with your head internally, all that you are now flipping the script for a few days, and come Mondays, those were the worst, right? Going back to work and you're just completely exhausted. Right. And so, it's a lot of wear and tear on your body. It's a lot of work, lot of work. And too, it's like, think about this, is I get home from an investigation. We have too much damn equipment. I'm going to say it. Let's say we just hook up 4 cameras. Here's another thing I'll break down for people is, man, I'm going to run people out of this field. Should I just shut up? Like, what's going on, right? Let's take this. Let's take a 4-camera
This is real. This
for
is
sure.
what really
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's take a 4-camera DVR system that we take to the investigation, right? And then we have 3 Canon handheld cameras. And then we have 2 Sony voice recorders that we're going to operate for that night. Let's say you get home and you did all night. You did 8 hours investigating. Now you have to watch that split screen. And at times you need to watch each screen individually, right? 8 hours. Let's just take you watch the 4 screens at once. So that's 8 hours, right? So guess what I have to do? I have to go lock myself in a room away from my family.
Yeah.
Right? I have to watch all that. And then done with that, you have to go back through, right? You timestamp things. What did this have? This and there. And then you take that timestamp, and now your handheld camera, maybe you have to go back through and match up that time to see, hey, this piece of that may be evidence. Is it actually evidence, or did someone make a noise on another floor at that exact time? So much stuff. There are so many factors involved with this paranormal investigating. There's a lot to it. And so you have to then review those Canon cameras, another 8 hours, 3 cameras, 8 times 3, 24, right? On top of the other 8 hours. And it's just, it adds up. And when you do this for 18 years, you miss out on a lot. You really do.
Yeah. It's a tough industry to be in, for sure.
Yes.
I totally agree.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you're not counting how long you sat in the building to have those.
For sure. And I'm guilty of this as well, as you're listening to a voice recorder, right? And all of a sudden and you come to and you're like, shit, now I have to go back because how long have I been out? It might have been only a second, but shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've been there. So I think we all have.
Yep.
One thing that we do ask is Jason Hawes, the Conjuring House. Okay. He is going to get it, I think, for sure now. What is your thoughts on, is it okay, you think, that Jason gets it, or do you think otherwise?
I don't even know the situation.
Oh.
Yeah. I maybe occasionally seen a post or something, but I think well, fill me in on it, and I'll give you just my initial reaction on it.
Sure. Medium red. You do.
The Conjuring House, it was owned by a woman who I believe bought it. I believe she bought it from another woman before that, because it wasn't the Perron family that she purchased it from. Right. I guess she does have some mental health issues, and some things have gone down that I'm not privy to. Anyway, the house went into foreclosure, and Andrea Perrone reached out to Jason Hawes to ask him to help salvage the place. He was never going to throw his hat in the ring to begin with. He wanted to save it for her, and he wants to set it up as a place that everyone can go into, everyone can investigate. It's affordable for everyone, even to the point of even perhaps building another building on the property that would be an education research center so that people can utilize it for their investigations, to get information, etc. And then I think was Eldon Castille came in, and he's the one that bought the deed off of the bank. So he's in possession of the mortgage, which is essentially means that the monthly payments go to him because he's the one that bought it. It took it off the auction block at the 11th hour, and now he has the deed. There is a I guess a documentation or a paperwork that apparently Jason has had signed by the woman Nuez or whatever her name is, so that he'd be the owner. And he has done a GoFundMe page where everybody has donated, where everybody will be paid back that money, and he's going to take that money and put it into the house to buy the house, buy the bank note, essentially. Right. So, you know, a lot of people are up in arms because you have the team Zax, you have the team Jason, you have the team Matt Rife, the team Matt Rife and Matt and Eldon Castilla. So, and of course, you know that those two are the ones that bought the Warren house, and they've made
I've heard. Yeah.
And that's unattainable for common folk to be able to use unless you're a YouTuber, TikToker that has the followers and the money behind you to go into it. You're basically, you and me are excluded from that monetarily wise to be able to go in. So there's a lot of uproar in the paranormal world because of the fact that, you know, these buildings should be open to the public in order for them to be investigated. And it should be something that is attainable monetarily wise. There is a monetary value that's placed on it because of the fact that you need to be able to keep the money to keep the building running, obviously. So we always ask everybody about it, to ask them, you know, what's your thought process on Jason doing this particular, you know, buying this house, wanting it to be open to the common folk, having a research center on property.
Oh, goodness. Let's see. How do I answer that? Just initially based off what you told me, right? Is maybe I'll try to do another hot take here. Maybe I'll try to do another unpopular opinion or such. Is number one, vote with your wallet, right? Just, you know, don't show up. But also too, it's like, and if I'm off track here or out of line, let me know. Is it all right to, how do I say this? Is it all right to have someone own it who's going to make it affordable for us? Does that make sense? Based off what you're saying?
Yep.
Okay. How do I say this? I'm not concerned about it. I really ain't. Whoever owns it. Guess what? There's a million other places I'm going to investigate. Okay. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. If all these people, rich people, influencers, whatever, wants to buy these places up and charge a massive amount, so be it. Let their cell phone app, YouTube guys go in there and do the same shit, whatever. I'm not, you know, and again, grumpy old man. I'm over all that shit, right? I just want to do my own thing. And as I get older, my beliefs and my thought process and such has changed on a lot of that stuff. It's okay. Well, let's take just for example, Waverly Hills or Missouri State Penitentiary. Let's take Missouri State Penitentiary. When we went there, if I remember correctly, it was $1,000. Okay, $1,000 to go there. That's a lot of money, right? Now, these other places that you're talking about, are they charging that much, or are they charging more? Are they charging $2,000? But with that $2,000, are they allowing 20 people in there, which will be $100 per person? I think that's affordable, right? There's, again, I'm one of them that just, I have to look at them variables like that and see a huge amount, but what all is involved with that. And that's about all I can say on it without having all the facts. You know, it's just I'm just spitballing some stuff right now, and just, you know, based off what you're saying.
Right.
You know, so yeah, I just let them do whatever they want to do. You know, we've got places here. You got places in Arizona. You know, there's always, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm finding too, just based off what I see occasionally, is more places are opening up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of new places opening up. So,
yeah.
I mean, if I pass away, never being able to investigate the Conjuring house, I'm okay with that, because you know what? I've been to some amazing places and have seen some wild stuff, and I'm okay with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, with all the TV shows you have nowadays, you know, there's so many. We won't really get into how many they are, but you know, Hollywood has done a lot of fakeness that makes these shows like, oh my gosh, another show. You know, you watch it and you like, okay. And you know, for those who are into the paranormal mediumship or anything, I know everybody's like laughing and everything because, and I won't mention names because I know there's a Pacific show that it's just like, you are so disrespectful to the spirits. You go in there, you yell at them, you demand them to do something. And I mean, that is just downright so terrible.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Can I play devil's advocate with that for just a moment? Okay.
I was just going to ask you to.
Yeah, okay. What is the location? And what I mean by that is, you know what? If I go into a prison where some of these people did some horrific things, guess what? I'm not going to feel too bad if I'm being a little disrespectful, if that makes sense. Okay. Right. Yeah. Again, I'm just being too damn literal about shit. Right. I have all these variables and all these specifics about things. So I get it. There are locations like we've been asked to investigate, and it's some really personal stuff that's happened in someone's home with like a family member. Right. That absolutely you need to treat with the utmost respect and everything. But if I'm going into a prison and this guy here that claims to haunt the place, guess what? He murdered 7 women. He's going to get an earful from me. I don't care. Right. So, yeah, I just thought I'd throw that out there. Yeah.
No, that is actually very, I guess, refreshing to what other people have said. So, yes. And I can understand that. Yeah, because I feel the same way, too. Why am I going to be nice to somebody who raped a bunch of women or killed kids? You know?
Absolutely. Yep.
I get that. I really do. And thank you for saying that, because so many actually hasn't said it that way. So that's really refreshing to us. So, and back to you, Medium Red.
What's the first thing you pack when you're heading out on an investigation?
This is great. Flashlights. You want to know why? Because every damn time I tell the rest of the members to bring flashlights, especially Pat. Oh, Pat. It's almost a running joke now. Just we were at Edinburgh Manor a few weeks ago, and I always let them know ahead of time. Remember, flashlights. He gets out to my house and hops in it. I'm like, bring your oh, shit. Left it at home. So every time we end up stopping at Walmart or something, he gets, a pack of flash. I guarantee he's got the largest collection of flashlights in the world by this point, but no flashlights. And obviously with how our methods operate, we need to ensure our cameras, our video cameras, and our voice recorders, and batteries. Yep.
Exactly. It's like you have to have, stock in batteries, basically.
For sure. Absolutely. Yep.
That's very true. Very true indeed.
Well, we on top of the hour, and Stephen, like I said, I feel like we didn't touch a lot.
Did we talk about any of my crazy stuff? And we didn't, did we? I just been
you have to come on.
Mean old man.
You have to come on again. By yourself, with your team, with your wife, whatever, and we have to dig deeper, of course.
Yes.
Because I know you got a lot of things coming up as well. For a plug-in for you, what would you like to tell the audience that you are up to next?
A lot of investigations. We have an investigation coming up this weekend. We have a lot of several locations that we have previously been to that maybe the conditions weren't ideal at the time, or we didn't feel like we were able to get the answers for maybe the homeowner that we needed to at the time. Got a lot of cases coming up, a lot of potential new cases. And here's even something better is there is a location that we investigated back in 2010 and had some amazing activity at this place.
Ooh.
That was 16 years ago, right? All new people operating the place, owners, everything, contacted me a few weeks ago with activity going on that had no recollection that we had ever been there, right? And so Troy Taylor, that is one thing he says is one of the best ways to prove a haunting, right? Is let's say all this documentation I do and this case that I am going to do this coming weekend, right? And I document what's happened at this time. Let's say spirit comes down the stairs at 2:00 every morning. Here in, 60 years when I'm long gone, my great grandchildren take this over. And what if 7 owners from now call them at that same location and say, hey, 2:00 in the morning, right there, right? That is an amazing way to prove of a haunting right there of a place with a previous owner, right? And so, yeah, we got a lot of stuff in the works. A lot of big locations. There's a few new locations that we are potentially trying to get in. I'm still going to work on Iowa State Penitentiary. I have tried for 7 years now to get us in there and to no avail, but I've been told I'm persistent. So without being stalkerish, how about that? And but hopefully one day we can get in there. But yeah, it's going to be a very big year. But I also have to remember not to get overwhelmed and take on 2-3 cases a month, right. And just kind of stretch them out over the course of the year. Yeah.
Right. Pace yourself.
Keep the journal of where you go to. So when you come back, you can tell us all about them, especially the new places. I'm really interested in new locations that you have. You don't have to tell us, no, not now. But when you come back, both the new locations, what you found out, and it'd be interesting.
Yeah. And I want to say too, because I was telling people on my Facebook page to tune in tonight, I'm going to share some stories and everything, but we will do that again. I promise, right? I'll share some stories, but I will say this.
If you have time, Stephen, we can go a half hour longer. I don't care.
Whatever, if that's all right with you, I'm here. I'm here, right?
It is.
Okay, yeah.
I want you to keep your promise, okay? Because I'm a man. I'm a woman who likes to keep promises. And I'm sure
I'm gonna go get my cord for my computer. I'll be right back.
And I meant to say he's a man to keep his promise. So I want you to keep it to the audience and to our audience. So I didn't have nothing else to do. This is pretty much my life. So go ahead and just let us know.
Oh, okay. So I have been asked a lot, what is the most haunted location I feel that I've been to, right? Mm-hmm. For me, hands down. And so I've been to a lot of places, obviously with Waverly Hills and Bobby Mackey's and many in Missouri State Penitentiary, many locations all in Iowa. I still always come back to the Farrar Schoolhouse.
Oh, is that in Iowa?
Yeah, that's up by past Bondurant. Very well-known location now it's been probably 15, 16 years now.
I heard of it, but I didn't realize it was in Iowa.
Yeah. It's just, probably, oh goodness, I'm horrible with miles, maybe 10, 15 miles past Bondurant, north of there, I believe, just a small little town. I don't know if it's Maxwell or Farrar, Iowa, one of them two. I've heard both, but it's basically a school out in the middle of nowhere. And yes, it is. It's very well known to a lot of people. But we first went there in 2010 was our first time there. And nothing happened that night. It was just one of the nights. It was a new location. Nothing happened. And so we tried it again a year later in July of 2011. And Red, can you hear us?
I can, yeah. Sorry, I had to get my cord. My computer was dying.
No, I was just letting her know, just to touch base with you on it. Like, I get asked a lot, like, what the most haunted location I've ever been to at, with the most activity. And I say it's
I was on YouTube for the 15 places of the haunted locations in Iowa. That's where okay, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I say it's the Farrar Schoolhouse here in Iowa. I don't know if you've heard of it, Red, but it's just an old school out in the middle of nowhere. Very well known by a lot of investigators around and such, But anyway, 2010, we went there, nothing happened. 2011, July of 2011, probably one of the most active nights of our lives. And it's crazy to think that's been 15 years ago now, but just real quick, and I'll give you a rundown of the years of all the times we've been there. But in July of 2011, some of the activity that happened was up on the third floor. And I know a lot of people that might be listening right now who have been there. Up on the top floor, there's a huge stage room there. There's a stage and just a massive room on one side of the hallway. Back then, there was actually walls that were put up that instead of that one large room there, that stage room, it was actually like 4 smaller rooms, which I liked at the time because it gives you more places to separate people, at that time instead of one large room, but 4 small rooms. And there was an opening along the west side of all them walls that you could walk room to room to room, all the way up to the stage. And we're in this far room, and investigator at the time, Samantha, and we get ready to walk in there, and we look at the stage area, and there's some steps that go up the stage, and her and I both, and it's somewhere on one of our YouTube videos from way back then, you see our reaction. I think Pat had a camera behind us, but we both seen it at the same time and reacted. There was a figure right there on the stairs, and it looked very like a TV, them old wavy kind of TVs, how it kind of looks like. It looked like that, but it was a full body, manifestation, and it just literally went out the wall. And when I say it went out the wall, we are 30 feet up in the air. We are on the top floor. Whatever this thing is, if I was able to go through a wall like that, I would fall 30 feet to my death. This thing went out the wall right there. And you hear us both we seen exactly the same thing. It was wild. Not only that, and we have another piece on our YouTube. We're sitting at the stage area. We're just all talking. And at this moment, in a separate room there, you hear this woman talk. You can't make out what she's saying, but you hear it on our video, everything. She's just, says something like that. And obviously we're just like, and that's the thing is you all collectively hear it at the same time. You're able to validate. It's, we're all like, you heard that woman. Yes, you heard that woman. Yeah. And we run in there and obviously no one's there. And that's another thing is we're not dumb investigators, right? We know who's in the building. Is someone in here sneaking around? No, we got the place locked down. There ain't no one else in this place.
Right.
And there was no one there. And then we would just stand, and a lot of this was up on the third floor. We would just stand there and just be still. And you would just hear walking up and down the hallways all night long. And it was just one of them nights that just stuck with you. And I think and it was hot, middle of July, and some of them abandoned places, how, you just a sweaty mess in the middle of the night in them places, And I remember the activities happening, and we're just saying I would sweat to death for this activity. This is just absolutely amazing, right? Mm-hmm. So that Farrar has always stuck out with me. And over the years, I think just a few years later, we did a public event there. We had tons of people there. End of the night, probably 4:00 in the morning, still dark out, and there was one guest left, and so it was him and then the team up on the top floor. And there's a principal's office, steps that go up to the principal's office in the hallway, and we all look and we see feet, only feet, and they light up. You see nothing else of a body but feet walking in the principal's office, just light up, white feet. And it blows your mind. You're not expecting, to see something like that. I've never heard of just seeing feet like that, right? And so over the years, just so much stuff has happened. And real quick, in 2018, I held another public event there. Down in the basement in the boiler room, we were all in this room, pitch black, asking questions. And all of a sudden, I fell down and I landed on top of a person or two.
Oh, wow.
And I kind of came to. And this is one of them things that happen that isn't like physical seeing something right there in front of your face, but how do I explain this? I almost felt like I went through some sort of portal dimension thing, and I was able to see. There was probably, 10, 15, 20 people in that room with me. I looked around and there was no one else in there with me at all. I'm in there by myself. And I remember it just hit me, the realization that I am in the school all by myself. Oh shit. And it, like an overwhelming feeling hit me, and I fell down. I completely just crashed out and came to, and everybody asked me what was wrong, and I told them. And it had such a profound effect that, I don't know if you've seen this book. Richard Estep. Have you ever heard of Richard Estep?
Yep.
He wrote this here, Haunting at Farrar, wrote this book. He called me to do an interview. There is a chapter all about my experiences there at Farrar. And I talk about that moment there. It had such an effect on me that I've never had kind of, I don't know, is it out of body kind of experience or something where it just like your ears start ringing. Yeah. And I literally like it almost like I stepped through something, and I looked around, and everybody that was sitting in them chairs, everybody was gone. And I looked around, and I don't know if it was like a fear or dread, but I'm like, I am stuck here in this school. And I crashed out, and it was really strange. And so just over the years, so much stuff has happened at this school that I would rather investigate. If I had the chance right now, someone said, hey, Farrar or Waverly again, I would choose Farrar.
Wow.
By far. Yeah. It's probably smaller as well.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. For sure.
Go back to what you said before, again, you don't have, 5 nights in a building as big as Waverly Hills to be able to collect the evidence that you want. So school is much easier to do,
Right. Absolutely. And over the years, right. And some of the recent activity that we've had, we got the chance to investigate, and I don't know if we were the first team to investigate there. I think we were, but the historical Boone Museum here in Boone, Iowa. Okay. Mm-hmm. It was an old Masonic temple there. Okay. And I've always heard about this place that there was a drop down floor that went through the top floor all the way down through all the floors. It was just a square, and no one really knew what it was used for. No one ever knew. And when we got the chance to investigate there, the lady who was running the museum at the time, she said that Freemason, is that what they're called? An older gentleman came in there and told her that it was probably like a 4x4 square that was on the top floor, and it went down like 15 feet to nothing. And what it was used for was hopefully I say this right, I don't want to, misinterpret how she said it, but it was an initiation for people to get to certain levels in the Mason thing, however that is. Yeah. But they would fill the bottom with dirt and put some sort of artifact down there, and they would lower someone in there and untie them, and they would have to find that artifact, and they would have to figure out how to climb out of this thing in order to reach that next level. Yeah, really strange. And you see all through there, all these black skid marks from shoes of them trying to climb up like that.
Wow.
Really strange, really strange. Amazing location, very big, all that. Well, anyway, up in the attic, it's a long hallway, And in that hallway is artifacts that they just don't have displayed yet. It's just full of all these artifacts. Patrick, Shay, and I are down at the far end of this hallway. And we're just kind of sitting there being quiet, just looking, right? And it's pitch black. Well, in front of us, about 15, 20 feet, we all look. And you hear us on video. Like, you seeing what I'm seeing? We see, and it starts lighting up. It creates its own ambient light. This figure right in front of us in this hallway that is blocking the door for us to get out of this damn place, right? It starts manifesting. And we're like, are we seeing this? And you see gray hair on this woman manifest right in front of us. And all of a sudden, she's rocking back and forth like this. And we're talking about this. You hear us literally why is she doing this? Rocking back and forth. Before you know it, she is up, runs right at us, instantly gets to Shay's in front, gets to her face. And I mean, again, it's that element of surprise, right? We all just Pat, I love Pat. He throws a punch. He don't even know what's going on. He just throws a punch at whatever may be there, right? And this thing disappears right in front of us. So what we determined is when she was doing this, when we thought she was rocking back and forth, she was actually running right at us.
Oh, wow.
Happened. It was the craziest thing. And Shay, she was in front, and she said the only thing she's seen was right in when it got to her, huge red eyes piercing right at her, right before it vanished, before it hit her. Absolutely insane. And here, this is, I failed miserably at this because I'm the only one at the time holding one of our night vision cameras. I'm so focused on what's this lady that I don't realize my finger zooms all the way in to Pat's back.
Oh,
so I'm
gosh.
not even, I think I'm with my own eyes. I'm so focused on her that I'm not realizing I need to have this camera on it. And so all you hear is our reaction and talking about it the whole time. And I am so disappointed. I hold my head in shame, like a huge rookie mistake, right?
Oh,
and
that's terrible.
It would have been this most amazing evidence ever.
Right. Yeah.
But so incredible. Yeah.
I have a picture of.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
This is the Boone Historical Center.
Wow.
And then we have a picture that I got to. There.
Wow.
Farrar.
Yep.
That is Farrar.
It is a big building.
That top floor, the third floor Farrar is the most haunted spot I have ever been to. That third floor is just absolutely incredible, for sure. Yeah.
That's incredible. Wow. That's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and so many, I could go on all damn night about stories. We'll do it again sometime, but so much stuff that I've witnessed. And I almost there's a part of me that hates saying that, right? Because it's like, oh gosh, maybe it's just elaborating so much. Who gets to experience this much stuff in all this time, right? But again, we've been fortunate, we've been lucky. But again, I've experienced a lot. But by experiencing a lot of that activity, I also sacrificed a lot.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean,
18 years worth of, that's a lot of time to be doing this.
For sure.
Understandably.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Something that you love to do, that you like to spend a lot of time with doing, that you do have to eventually sacrifice a part of yourself too. It's hard, but and then you might have some regrets, but you only live once.
Yeah.
So.
For sure. Yep. So, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. So, Stephen, once again, it was great, and thank you for those stories.
Yeah.
It gave us a chance to even look at those places, pictures,
yeah,
everything.
Absolutely.
me come on again, and you will come on again, or I will haunt you when I'm passed over. Yeah, but when you do come on, hopefully hopefully you can have some pictures of your investigation so you can share with us.
Yeah. I don't know how all this, I used to be all technical savvy with a lot of this stuff, but these days I'm just like, whatever, let other people handle it for me. So what I can do, I can send you some pictures, some video clips and all that. And if you're able, as we're talking next time, to put them on there for a moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She's pretty tech savvy.
For sure.
I don't mess it up. I have messed up before. Just to let
she hasn't.
But only one time. For everybody else in the audience, thank you so much for joining us this evening, taking the time out to listen to us with Stephen. And if you ever need somebody to come and investigate, even your location or another location, go to his website. You can contact him there. He has a Facebook, and he even has a YouTube channel that you can check out that I put down below and also in the comments. So jump over there, subscribe, and also subscribe to Within the Cauldron, Behind the Witch's Veil, sister podcasts, and like and share. And until next time, get spooky. Good night, everybody. Blessings.
Stay behind David for a few minutes behind backstage, please.